Hello there folks, Monkey Cook here, aka your Lonely Achievement God, continuing our From 0 to 1000 achievement hunting series for Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, the Anniversary Edition on the Xbox. And we have made it to the final chapter, Chapter 6. As always, if you've been following along with me or are jumping in at the beginning, this is a spoiler-filled version of the game. We are following an optimal path that can spoil what is happening in the story. While I am not going out of my way to spoil anything, you can piece together what is happening dependent on some of the choices that we make to follow the optimal path. So, if you are looking for a spoiler-free walkthrough, check the video description. The links in the video description will bring you to a text version of the spoiler-free walkthrough and a text version of the spoiler-full walkthrough if you prefer to use text. But we are going to finish off the story today, folks, and then we'll only have school mode and some miscellaneous things left to do. So let's go ahead and jump in. Chapter 6 has a lot of dialogue, so it actually goes by relatively quickly for us skipping everything. Talk to Kyoko, and then examine the door, and we're going to have a really long climb up a ladder. I swear everyone in this game who isn't Makoto is like 8 feet tall. Other than Chihiro. Chihiro was about Makoto's height, I think. But I mean, maybe it's just the perspective there, but I swear Kyoko is twice Makoto's height. And after 2 hours of climbing, they got up to the hatch and realized they couldn't open it. And that's the end of the game. Okay, once we get to the top, go ahead and chat with Kyoko again. And we need to go to the gym after this. We're going to try to teleport. I have no idea if we'll be able to. And we were able to. Gonna have a little bit of dialogue with Monokuma here, who's rather upset that we didn't die. And Kyoko convinces Monokuma to let us have one final showdown where we either figure everything out or we all die. Once you get the chance, go ahead and chat with Kyoko again, and we're going to need to go to the dining hall after this. But first we're going to react to let down their guard. So my apologies, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Now we're going to go to the dining hall after this. Go ahead and attempt to teleport. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to let us. We need to go to the dining room, or dining hall. We'll get a heartfelt reunion, and then they realize that we smell like garbage. So go ahead and chat with Kyoko. We're going to have a couple of statements to react to here. First, what I have to tell you all. And eventually, also we'll react to can't agree. Go ahead and chat with Kyoko again. We need to leave the dining room here. And we're going to turn to our left and go down the hallway that leads to the warehouse to find the stairwell, wow, I said that weird, is available to us. We can go up it now. So go up the stairs. We're going to go straight to the bathroom door here and hang a right. And we're going to turn right at the blue wall to find a door into what we believe is the headmaster's room. First, we're going to examine the computer, however you want to angle your camera to do so. And then, after a bit of dialogue, we're going to examine the imprint of the door on the back wall there. And you're going to have to react to how to open it. Go ahead and examine the computer again. And Kyoko will be very upset when her name is the headmaster's password. That's what we call a teaser. Go ahead and examine the open door to go back inside. And examine the present. Happy birthday. Go ahead and chat with Kyoko after that. And we're going to examine the picture frame on the left when we regain control. And then examine the desk on the right. Kyoko will chat with you, and we're going to have to react to favor. And she's going to want some time alone, so we're going to have to leave. So we're going to back out of that room, and then we're going to back out of the headmaster's room. We'll have to do that manually, so... And once you regain control, back out of the room. We're going to turn to the right, and we need to enter the first door on our right here that has a giraffe popping out of a locker. And be sure to use Y if you need to here. Right in front of us is that metal plate here. We interact with the first non-broken locker here. Nothing's going to happen. But interact with it again, and we'll use the headmaster's handbook and open it up. Now examine the notebook there. The pocketbook, I suppose. Turns out it's Kyoko's. So back out from that locker then and turn to the left, and you'll notice this mostly undamaged locker. We're going to open that one. And we need to examine first the crystal ball. You can kind of already guess who this might be. Examine the blue cards there. And then examine the books below. It is Yasuhiro's locker. Back out of the locker. And we're going to head all the way up to the rec room on the 4th floor now. Or, I'm sorry, the data center on the 4th floor. Go ahead and examine the Monokuma door. And examine the massive monitor in here once you get the chance to. Excuse me. Back out of the room and interact with the Monokuma that you see here. Once you're done, go back through the Monokuma door. So back out of the back room, and you will automatically get locked out of that the data center, because the mastermind can't control Monokuma if we're standing around in there. He tells you should search the latch, and if you do, you can't open it. Nothing really happens. Once you gain control, turn to the left, and we're going to go to the headmaster's office. So take a left here, and go into the double doors at the end of the hall. Go ahead and chat with Byakuya, and react to something interesting. Then we're going to react to information about Mukuro. And then we're going to react to advice. Go ahead and examine the desk at the back. And now we're going to back out of the room. we need to go up to the 5th floor and go to the now open biolab. So this next part can be a little funky. Sometimes it triggers properly and sometimes it doesn't. First, examine these lighted up compartments. Now examine the compartments without lights. And you may have to examine the lighted compartments again. And then you can examine the desk. And there you saw we got a clue related to the compartments. So I think you have to do that. Left, right, left, and then the desk in order to get that. And then examine the tarps on the ground. And now we need to go to the dojo. We're going to get a quick scene with Toko. And then we'll back out, and we need to turn around and go to the garden. Examine the tool shed at the back. And we'll need to examine the tarp. And the pickaxe again. And we need to leave the shed and the garden. And on easy, usually this triggers right away when you leave. But on a harder difficulty, you may have to go to some other rooms. Just go in and out. On hard, I had to like wander to the dojo and then the the murder room, and then this triggered. But on easy, I think it triggers right away when you leave the garden. So we need to go to the gym. And we automatically go to the trophy room. And then you can head into the gym. Interact with the envelope on the ground here to get our clue, or whatever it is that... And we have a class photo. Once you regain control, we need to go to the dining hall. So go ahead and get there however you'd like. Try to talk to Aoi. She's going to run away. And now we need to go back to the archive. So I was wrong. We do have to go back there one more time. My apologies. Chat with Byakuya, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with us either. Mostly, probably because we still haven't showered after spending a night in the trash, but hey, who has time for that? Now we need to go up to the 5th floor garden, so teleport up there. Try to chat with Yasuhiro. Who also wants nothing to do with you. And once that's done, we're going to head over to the biolab again. Examine Toko. She opened up a freezer and passed out. And then examine the opened freezer. Kyoko will sneak up on you. And react to Mukuro's body. Just like before, examine the lighted compartments. And then examine the tarps on the ground. And then you can chat with Kyoko. Eventually, you'll interact with the report and react to the condition of the body. We'll get kicked out of the conversation. And then we'll have to chat with her one more time. With the DVD in hand, we need to head back to the AV room. So we'll teleport there. And then just interact with one of the kiosks, just like we did before, and you'll start watching the video. And that basically ends the investigation. And we end up outside our red door, our favorite red door, for the last time. Hop inside, you'll get some conversation, blah, 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 blah. Everyone will show up and will eventually have to interact with the elevator gate / grate to move down into the trial room. Go ahead and save in whatever slot you desire. You don't have to worry about setting any skills, so finish preparations and we're going to jump right in. You're going to start off with a non-stop debate when we need to choose the group photo truth bullet. And we're going to fire it when Yasuhiro says, "the three of us." It can be difficult to hit the spinning ones, just do your best. Going to have a multiple choice answer. And you get to see everyone else's photos. And then you're going to choose the ones who got the photos. Going to have a Hangman's Gambit coming up next. The word is amnesia. That is A-M-N-E-S-I-A. So if you're on easy, you can probably just follow along with me. If you're on hard, you'll have more letters to put in. So we're going to need an M, an S, and an A. First we'll get the M. There's an S, and now we need an A. Going to have another non-stop debate. We need the interview DVD truth bullet. And we're going to fire it when Aoi says, "I remember everything." We're going to have another non-stop debate come up next. And we need the Monokuma control room bullet. And fire it when Toko says, "million miles away." Going to have a multiple choice answer coming up next. And pick the other wounds. We need Mukuro Ikusaba's profile as our bullet. And we're going to fire it when Toko says, "got all those wounds in battle." And again, the spinning ones can be a little difficult. Just do your best. We're not trying to be perfect, so if you have to come back around and shoot at it again, it's not that big of a deal. Going to have a multiple choice answer up next. And it will be the mastermind. And we have to absorb a truth bullet here, so we need to absorb when Monokuma says right hand. And once you absorb the bullet, skip to the end so it restarts, and we're going to fire when Monokuma says Mukuro Ikusaba. Going to have a multiple choice answer coming up next. Kyoko takes off her gloves and shows everyone that her hands are burned. But once this pops up, choose the biolab. And then we're going to have an evidence select. And we're going to have to choose TARP. Okay, before we go any further, I just want to warn you all, the next bullet time battle is the hardest in the game, in my opinion. Even on easy, you can no longer just alternate A and Y. On easy, you might be able to get away with like doing 2 or 3 A's and then a Y. You don't have to worry too much about it on easy. On hard, you will probably fail on this one on your first attempt. There are 2 more in this trial, and they're not nearly as difficult as this next one. So if you can pass this one, then you're good to go for the rest of the trial. The other 2 are significantly easier, in my opinion. So if you try to do the alternating A and Y route on easy, you will be able to finish it, but you're going to take damage. So you might as well, give it the old college try, give it, and attempt to do like 2 or 3 A's before you press Y. On hard, just do your best and spam fever time as much as you can. Again, you don't have to do it perfectly, you just have to pass. So if you want to, do the minimum required, feel free. As long as you pass it, that's all you need to do. And the bullet is the Biolab Light, so make sure you have that selected. Sorry about that, I was a little bit behind. Multiple choice answer, choose 10 lights. We're going to have another multiple choice answer here. And the answer is the same person was killed twice. We're going to have a non-stop debate where we have to absorb. The statement we're going to be absorbing is in like the second capsule, so be ready. Sorry, it's the third one. We need Junko Enoshima. So go ahead and absorb that, and then when Monokuma says murdered twice, we're going to fire at it. Another non-stop debate. We need Mukuro Ikusaba's profile here. And we're going to fire it when Toko says wasn't Mukuro right off the bat here. Next section is going to be one of those scroll and choose a classmate sections. And you're going to scroll to the right and select Junko. We're going to have a Hangman's Gambit coming up next. Depending on your difficulty, you may have to deal with yellow or green letters. Yellow take 3 hits and green take 4, just so you're aware. The word we're going to need to fill in is replaced. R-E-P-L-A-C-E-D. And again, you may have a different color of letters showing up here. I can't remember if you get any yellow on easy. So we need an E, an L, a C, and a D. So first we need an E. Then we need an L. Oh, that disappeared before we could get it. There's an L done. We need a C. And we need a D. Didn't see any yellow there, so maybe on normal that's where it jumps up, but you might be okay on easy. We're going to choose another multiple choice answer here. They switched at the beginning. And then we'll have an evidence select. And we need to select the interview DVD. And we're going to have another rhythm game coming up again. As I said, this is easier than the first one. But on easy, I still recommend doing 2 A's and then a Y alternating. And obviously on hard, spam fever time as much as you can. The bullet for this one is group photo. And again, I do apologize for that previous one. I didn't say the bullet very early, so hopefully I didn't cause you to have to replay that sequence. To fire a group photo to finish that off. We're going to have one multiple choice answer, and then we're going to go into the manga / comic closing argument. And we need Junko's face is the multiple choice answer. So just like before, follow along with me. The first panel here needs this circle with Junko's face and Mukuro in the background. The second panel is a body being pulled out of the freezer, so this one here. The third panel is the knife, has a red background, easy to spot. The fourth panel is Kyoko in front, facing the killer in the background. There are two panels that have Kyoko and the killer. We need this one first. The fifth panel is the killer running away in the foreground with Kyoko in the background, so this one. The sixth panel is the killer holding the mask, which is this panel here. The seventh panel is the body on the ground with everyone around it. And the eighth panel is the exploded body. So once you have those in place, reenact it, and that is our final comic sequence. And you finally get to meet the mastermind. I really enjoyed this reveal and the resulting dialogue, but for the purposes of the guide, go ahead and pick no thanks, and we're just going to keep skipping on ahead. Before arriving at school is the next answer. For the most part, we just have a lot of answers to make here. And a crap ton of exposition happens if you are interested, but if you're not, just feel free to keep skipping along. The next multiple choice answer is going to be the motives Monokuma came up with. First, we have human connections. Next, we have the past. Next we have greed. And finally, we have betrayal. I think we have quite a bit of dialogue that happens here before we get a non-stop debate. And we're going to need the Genocide Jack's Memory Truth Bullet. And when Toko says nobody can remember anything, we're going to fire that at it. Going to have a multiple choice answer up next. Any one of the three options will work. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So you can just pick the first one if you want. All three of those will work. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. The next multiple choice answer, eventually, will be our life at Hope's Peak. So pick that. And that's going to lead us into another non-stop debate. We're going to need the locker notebook. Make sure it's the notebook and not the pocketbook. We need the locker notebook truth bullet. And we're going to fire that when Yasuhiro says a single class. Going to have two more multiple choice answers coming up next. First one is going to be when I fainted. And the next one is going to be the headmaster. We'll get there eventually. As I said, this chapter actually goes by rather quick because most of it is just dialogue that we can skip if you are skipping along with me. And as I said, pick the headmaster. And that's going to lead us into our final Hangman's Gambit. This is a pretty simple one. The word is hijack. H-I-J-A-C-K. Again, you may have to deal with yellow or green letters depending on your difficulty. They just take a few more shots. So we need an I, a J. And with that done, we go into the final section. Well, the penultimate section, excuse me. It's a non-stop debate where we have to keep absorbing hope when Makoto says it and firing it at each person's ... when you get to them. You're going to have to do this, I think, 5 times. If you miss, absorbing the hope or miss shooting the dot dot dot. You can try doing it on a later person, or you will take damage. You have to be successful on this each time, or else you will take damage when the conversation rolls back over. So, I don't recommend using the B button to skip here because timing is important. Once the trial or the debate itself starts. Anyways. So right off the bat, I believe it's the second capsule, you're going to absorb hope from Makoto, and then you're going to fire it at your classmates in turn. So there's Yasuhiro, we're going to fire at him, and after some dialogue with him, the entire statement will restart. We're going to have to absorb hope again, and we'll fire it at our next classmate. And you can skip past, the last classmate you saved every time you do this. But I don't recommend trying to skip too far beyond that. That way you don't miss the timing. So, Asahina is next. And once again, we'll get a little bit of dialogue with her. And we have to absorb hope again. Fire it at Jack next, and we repeat the process. Absorb hope again, and this time we skip ahead and fire it at Byakuya. And one more time, we have to absorb hope and then fire it at the very last capsule, I believe. But slow down when you get to the end, just so you don't miss it, at Kyoko. Fire it at Kyoko, and that is the end of that. And we just have another rhythm battle before the end of the trial. And again, this one is not as difficult as the one from the beginning of this trial. So on easy, I recommend 2 A's and a Y, and then on hard, just abuse the fever time as we have been. And the bullet is the ultimate hope. I think it's automatically selected. And again, ultimate hope is the bullet. I think it's automatically selected. So just fire it when you get the chance, and that is it. Just going to have some scenes and cutscenes and dialogue leading to the end of the game. Got ourselves 100 coins for our performance, even though it wasn't all that good. And that's the end of that. I don't think you get the achievement quite yet, though. Got a little epilogue here, I think, before the Chapter 6 achievement pops. But there's only text and dialogue, nothing you actually have to do in the epilogue, so. He pushes the button and the entire school explodes, and that's the end. There's a cutscene there. If you want to watch it, feel free. But we're just going to skip ahead for the purposes of the guide. Get some credits if you want to watch them. Feel free. Monokuma wakes up somehow. Apparently he's a ghost. And we get the Easter egg present and have completed the epilogue, and that should get us the All's Well That Ends Well achievement and brings us back to the save file main menu. So that is the end of the story mode, folks. There's not really anything else spoilery to really worry about, so if you're concerned about spoilers for the school mode doesn't really have that much of a story to it. We'll do a quick achievement check here. You should have 12 achievements for 270G. In our next portion, we're going to have a little bit of prep we need to do in order to prepare for school mode. Specifically, we're going to be grinding out some coins. So our next portion will primarily be us just grinding coins, I think, in preparation for school mode. The first school mode playthrough is probably going to take us 2 hours, if not more than that. There's a lot we're going to have to cover and go through. In fact, I may even do like a separate video detailing what school mode is if you are interested in that. And then for those of you that don't really care, you can just skip to the school mode playthrough itself and follow along with my actions. I may end up doing that and having 2 separate videos detailing those processes before we jump in to school mode itself. So the next portion is the grinding, so you should follow along with me for that one, but then we'll see how I handle the rest of the videos here. I haven't completely decided yet. So as always, if you have any questions or comments for me, reach out to me. I'll do my best to answer them. But if not, I'll see you guys when we come back to grind some coins out.